Hey folks, Brandon here from the Real Estate CPA. Today we're going to be talking about cost segregation studies. Cost segregation is the process of breaking down your real estate into separate components and then assigning each one of those separate components a value. The purpose of a cost segregation study is to understand what the value of every component of my property is. So I want to know what the value of my roof is, what the value of the carpet is, what the value of the tree that's planted out in the front yard is. That's what a cost segregation study does for me. And if I do this in the first year that I buy the property, then I get to 100% expense via bonus depreciation any component of my property that has a useful life of less than 20 years. Now, personal property and land improvements all have a useful life of less than 20 years. So if I have a cost segregation study performed on my property and it assigns $5,000 to the carpet, $1,000 to the tree outside, I get to write it all off immediately rather than depreciate it over 27.5 years like most investors have to do. Another benefit of a cost segregation study is that even though I'm assigning value to like the roof and that roof is still depreciated over 27.5 years, by assigning a value to the roof, whenever I go to replace the roof, I can write off the assigned value. Compare that to replacing a roof without a cost segregation study. All you get to do at that point is just add the value to your 27.5 year depreciation basis. Now, a lot of people ask if they can do cost segregation studies by themselves, and the answer is yes, but you're not going to be nearly as detailed as a professional cost segregation study will be. A professional cost segregation study is going to go as far as saying parts of the electrical and the plumbing that feed the personal property assets within your property are also considered personal property, whereas normally the electrical and the plumbing is structural components depreciated over 27.5 years. So if you do a cost segregation study by yourself, you can totally break out things like the square footage of the carpet. You could look at the model number on your appliances and look up what the value is online, and you could do a mini cost segregation study that way. But you're not going to get anywhere near the benefits of what a professional cost segregation study will give you. Now, we recommend doing a cost segregation study in year one, especially with the new 2018 tax laws, because again, I can go buy a $1 million property, get a cost segregation study, and maybe 30% of my value has been allocated to components with a useful life of less than 20 years. So on a $1 million property, that means I get to write off $300,000 immediately this year, which is way better than depreciating that $1 million over 27.5 years. If you have questions on cost segregation studies or depreciation in general, hit us up at therealestatecpa.com. We're more than happy to help.